guys, welcome to the week of April 26th to 30th. So this week we are going to be talking about packaging design. I'm probably not even limited to just this week. I was actually just saying to the students in front, so I know for you guys this is a repeat. It's been a couple years since I've instructed a unit on packaging design, let alone in kind of a remote method. So if things aren't working or you have questions, please make sure that you are reaching out to me for questions. So you will see the calendar is not 100% filled in. I do have some ideas that are boiling in my head, but I really wanted to see how today's lesson went and then kind of put some items in from there. So first thing that we're going to do is we are going to think very openly about package design and even what is packaging design. And as we're doing this, I would like you guys to be working in the Padlet. So if you go back into Google Classroom under the week of April 14th, you should see a packaging design Padlet. And hopefully that link and everything works just fine. Good. I can see people have it opened up. Sometimes technology is great, but sometimes I get hesitant the more links to outside sources we put in there. Okay, so packaging design. Packaging design has two main purposes. What do you think, and this is we're communicating out loud right now. We're not sticking this in the Padlet yet. What do you think the two main purposes of packaging is? So an example, this Pop-Tart is inside of this wrapper. We have a juice box. I pulled this as an example of what I think is some interesting packaging, and we'll talk about it then. But packaging has two main purposes. What are the two main purposes of packaging design? So those of you that are Edge, think about that, and you'll hear our responses here in a second. All right, so the ideas that the students came up with in class, they said who is selling it or what the brand is, and then to actually hold the item. So those are correct, and there are two ways that we can kind of sum up those items: marketing and advertising. So that's telling us who is selling it, what the brand is. It's also telling us what is in the package. We'll just go with this even. If you were just buying this off a shelf, it doesn't tell you, so you can assume that there's a liquid in it, but you don't know what the liquid is if there's no type of label, okay? If this was all you had, you'd be guessing as to what flavor. Even if you knew that this is how a Pop-Tart is packaged, you would be guessing as to maybe what the flavor is. So it helps us to identify what the object is, but it also is a marketing, it's a promotion scheme, okay? If you think of, so here's another example. So here's a granola bar, okay? So right here, we even have two different kind of color schemes going on, because color has a big factor in our packaging. Let's be honest. Let's say this was a strawberry Pop-Tart, but the packaging was black. Yeah, I just see some crinkled faces sitting in class. Like, that's probably something that you aren't going to maybe want to eat, okay? The other thing that it does, now, I think that this particular wrapping is not a good example of this, because usually Pop-Tarts come in what? They're individually wrapped, but then they are in a box, okay? So the other piece of packaging is simply for protection of the product. So it's very interesting when we look at packaging design, the different type of designers that go into it. You have a graphic designer, but you also have what is called an industrial designer. And the industrial designer is looking at it from a protection standpoint, as well as from a material use standpoint. So some materials are a lot cheaper to use in packaging. Some are more expensive, but on the user end, we need to make sure that the product is getting there safely, okay? So for our next unit of study, and we have some, I'll say, intermediate lessons of some skills we're going to build on in Photopea with this, but our cumulative project that we are going to be working towards is packaging design. Now, I'm going to be honest, this makes Mrs. Martin a little nervous, because usually I funnel students a little more, because I found sometimes that students struggle with generating ideas. So I might say we're doing packaging, but this is the shape of the box that you're going to use. Or we are marketing some type of ice cream or cracker or a beverage. But I am going to, and I'm hoping this doesn't haunt me later, I am going to leave this wide open. As long as it's appropriate, age appropriate, I don't care what your product is. So, maybe your product is a liquid. Maybe it's a beverage. Maybe it's a body spray. Maybe it's gaming headphones. Maybe it's a cell phone. Maybe it has something to do with COVID and we've got, some more sanitation spray. We got hand sanitizer. We've got masks. Can you imagine the people that were not prepared to make and package masks and the ideas that people generated? It was crazy. And that's one reason I pulled this. I thought this was a really interesting package design. So in the beginning, when we were allowed to wear shields, I decided to order a shield. And I'll be honest, when it came in a box like this, I was like, what is going on? So how did I do this? So the glasses themselves were in here. So just the regular glasses with a little pull-out drawer, which, like that insert took extra packaging products, but it made it more sturdy, the box inside. But then you can open it in the back, and this is where the shields were. So probably much more economical to package in this manner and safer, so I had to assemble when I received it. I guess I thought it was going to come assembled already, and I thought it would be in a larger box maybe. So I thought that was a very interesting design, especially when they think about shipping them to stores, how many they could fit then in a box instead of the box I thought it might come in. So the product that you are going to design packaging for is 100% up to you. The shape of the packaging material is going to be up to you as well. Now, I am going to show you later in our lesson today some items about that. But what I want you to do right now, and I know this is just fresh in your mind and you might be 100% clueless as to what you want to do, I want you to use this Padlet to just start putting ideas down of things that you would like to possibly market, promote, and whatnot. So where it has the title, I would like you to put your name. And I'm just going to start my list here. So ice cream, because I think ice cream is fun. That's something that I've always thought would be fun to market. And it does need to be a tangible item that we're buying off the shelf. It's not a service. So we are going beyond just a business card. So we're not doing like a lawn care business. Like I want to own a camping resort someday. I think that would be fun, but I'm not going to use that as my example. So ice cream, earbuds, because I'm trying to hit different disciplines. One more. I'm going to say live garden plants that are shipped. So those are my ideas. Okay, so those of you working remotely, you'll need to fill this out as well. I'm going to pause this while the students are working in class. So I'm seeing some great ideas pop up. And, as you guys are typing and I'm thinking about different items, I think it's interesting now how many supplies and products that people order through the mail. I guess I'm still a little old school. I like to touch and feel some things before I buy them. But even like the meal services that are now subscription-based, and the amount of packaging and thought that had to go into that. I finally ordered HelloFresh one time just because I was really curious as to how it was packaged. I thought the concept was really cool. I thought the food that they sent me was good. I thought the price point was a little high maybe. But I'll be honest, me personally, the way the packaging was, so even if you needed a seasoning, it was in a little packet. Sour cream, they were in little packages. I kind of thought it was a waste of packaging product, but I also know on the consumer end, I was paying for that. Okay, so those of you working from home, make sure that you do fill out this piece. Now, those of you that are in front of me, and those of you at home will do this as well, I'm trying to make sure I do this in the most appropriate manner to get the results we want. I want you to Google free packaging mock-up. Free packaging mock-up. And you're going to see a couple different options that you can go to. You should have one that's going to be about your fourth option down, creativebooster.net. And this one seems to be where I've been able to get the best results that have actually downloaded truly for free without a bunch of pop-ups. Now, those of you working at home, I think you should be fine to do this on a Chromebook. If you run into a hiccup, let me know. Now, I would like our mock-ups, and you're going to see a little bit more as class continues today how this mock-up is going to come together. But I do want you using, I'm going to say a hard surface, if that makes sense. So we're not looking at the hoodies, the bags, the t-shirts, the phones. We're looking at a little more of a box, maybe a can, okay? So you can see, I like this particular one. So when I click on this example, okay, it tells me what I'm getting so I can see. I have to be a little cautious, so here's going to give me more details about it. Then I have to say visit download page. This is where you want to click. So you do have to be cautious. There are a lot of advertisements on here in different places they want you to click. Then I should be able to scroll down. Did I pick one that's going to confuse me? Okay, so it's actually, this particular one maybe has a lot more for me. Download this free packaging, download this free mock-up template here. So it gave me another opening. Now I got to, there's all these starts. We're not hitting these starts. We're not logging in or signing up. I'm looking very carefully here what it is, and this is where I'm going to choose download. I want you to look through these. It doesn't really matter what you choose for today. I just want to show you how these files work. So pick one file to download, and then I'll be back with you and we're going to talk about what we do with this file and how this file works. All right, so after you have your item downloaded, you should be able to view it in your downloads, but it is probably going to be a zipped file. Now, you can probably go ahead and extract it right in your downloads. I've got a lot of downloads and I like to keep some folders, so this is my packaging mockup folder. So this is where I'm going to choose to extract mine. So I'm going to say extract here, but you do have files that you will need to extract. And learning to extract files is actually very important. Files get zipped and compacted, so you can easily store all the information in there. So these are the ones that I just downloaded. So you can see I have a Photoshop file. This Photoshop file, once I have extracted it, I can take that Photoshop file and I can open it up in Photopea. And I will say, why is this one not? Oh, it's still loading. This is, so those of us working in the classroom and those of us working at home, once this one loads, this is going to be one of our screenshots for today to demonstrate your work. All right, so this is going to be the one screenshot that we're going to use for today. And make sure you include your layers. Those of you that are sitting in front of me in class, just hang tight. I'm going to push a slideshow out for this, okay? This is going to be your one screenshot for today. So hang tight right there. All right, so you can see right here are your screenshots for the week. I have one other thing you'll be adding there today, but the first one that needs to be added there today is that I can see that you were able to open a packaging mock-up up. And when you include your layers, it'll be evident to me that you did that. Okay, so you can go ahead and get that screenshot and we'll be back. Actually, the second video is going to cover the next item. Let me know if you have questions.